Now is the perfect time to be pruning your apple trees. It's dry, it's lovely and sunny, and guess what? It's winter. We need to be pruning trees in order to making sure that fruit is accessible, sunlight and everything it needs to be able to be big and bountiful, and making sure that no branches are crossing and causing disease and all that. I've got my trusty secateurs. I'm going to quickly show you when you make each cut, this is the way you should be cutting. You should cut just above a bud. If I cut here, that bud there is going to be shooting out and be strong. That one will also be strong, and that one will also be strong. If I do not want these ones to grow, then I can quickly nip them off with my thumb. So when we're cutting, we are thinking about what buds we want to be strong just below the cut. Now you know how to make the perfect cut. We're going to talk about the 5 steps of knowing which branches to cut. Number 1, you need to be cutting off any branches that are crossing over others. And the branches that you choose are the ones that are less perpendicular. So here, as you can see, this branch here crosses a couple of other branches. So I'm going to be deciding where to cut here. And there's a lovely bud here which points outwards. So I'm going to choose to cut just above that bud there, to encourage that growth and stop the crossover. There we go. So now that should be coming out this way. The second one is us going to be opening up the canopy. So as you can see here, there's a lot of branches. It's quite dense, and we need to be making some decisions on which branches to keep and which ones not to keep. Now this is a bit of a feeling. As you know from some of my other videos, I do like to work on what a feeling is. So don't worry, as long as you don't cut off more than 15% of the tree, you'll be all right. Next is the height. So when you're pruning your trees, if you haven't done so already, which I have, you need to be cutting that top part off to make sure that you have prevented it from growing any higher and not really high and wispy. So if you have a runner, which I don't because this has already been cut off, up there you need to be chopping it off where you need it to be. Next is cutting some of these longer spindly branches to make sure that they're encouraging the growth in the more confined central area. So look at this, it's coming up and out. This one's coming up and out, and we can see the first year growth is here, second year's growth up to there. That was a very short year, and then all this was last year's growth, which is amazing. But we need to be keeping it in check by giving it a little cut here to encourage growth out, so it's more of a bush rather than a big long tree. We want to be encouraging a nice bush that's open to the sun and able to be picked. And the final thing you need to do when pruning is to be pruning anything that looks damaged or diseased. So I'm going to go and try and find you an example of something that is damaged or diseased. Aha! So I have found one of the apple trees that has got damage. That's the natural tree, and then here it's all damaged. Same here and on these two here. So I'm just going to be taking off all of these diseased bits here. There is no exact science when it comes to pruning. It's kind of like, it's not a feeling, but it is a sense thing. It's all around your preference as a gardener, as well as making sure you're protecting the tree from disease and making sure you've got the access to the fruit. Take care, enjoy pruning, goodbye.